Today is September 2nd, 2024. And welcome again to another episode of Mindset Monday. It's a spectacular day in the US of A. It's actually Labor Day. I know for most of us, we were off, we were enjoying a nice day, doing whatever we want to do. But for those who are in the essential services, we thank you for serving us on this Labor Day. So, Labor Day for some is relaxing, Labor Day for some is still working. So, thank you for serving us, those who are still working. We appreciate your service in whatever way you serve. Today is another day that we are preparing for wealth. Prepare for your wealth. And when we talk about wealth, remember we are talking about wealth starting from the mindset because it is the mindset that changes everything. The good book, our roadmap, the Bible states it is with the mind that we serve God. And if our mind isn't right, we are not balance. So let's get our mind in focus. Let's get our mind in the right state so we can enjoy the wonders of God's creation. We can enjoy everything that God has placed on earth for us to be managers of. And we manage our time, we manage our this vessel that God has given to us. We in managing or management, another word you can use is being a good steward. Being a good steward of our time, our talent, our resources, and we can look at our bodies that God has given to us that house our soul. Once we are good steward, it will serve us long. It will serve us. We can enjoy health, wealth. We can enjoy what God has created. I'm kind of excited when I talk about that. Anyway, today we are looking at preparing for wealth, and we are somewhat diving into one of the topics that a lot of us are not neither comfortable or too happy to deal with because it either pull on us, we have to pay out so much, or for some it's a wonderful topic because we pull down money. Some of us where we have to shell out money, others have to be giving, paying Uncle Sam. So that topic we are gonna look at is tax planning. And guess what? The better planning, the um, better results, better outcome. So if we start planning now, when it comes to tax time, January 2024, where we start, gathering the documents that we get at the end of the year to take to our tax professional to prepare our taxes, we look at all of these, and once we have proper planning, we are better able to manage what comes in. So knowing or remembering, because guess what, this topic or this event for most people is just once a year. And once you deal with it, you tuck away your information, you tuck away all of the supporting documents, and you forget that for the entire year. But what we want you to do is to be so active that when tax time comes around, you maximize your deductions because you have all your expenses, all your income, everything together, so you get the most out of it. And this week, I'm going to look at tax planning on a broader scale. For most of the world, we do tax planning. Most of the world pay taxes from the income that you get, whether from working or providing services or providing a good. So that means if you're exchanging time for dollars, working with an employer, or you are the employer, you pay taxes at some point. So we are looking at how to prepare for tax season 2024. I know for the most part, for most countries, tax season is between January and March. For USA, tax season is between January and April. And then at if some people haven't filed, you get an extension of time to file in the US, extension of time to file. And what that means, you can file your taxes. If you do an extension, you file it September for partnerships and, sorry, for corporation, and for individuals, file October 15th. So if you do not file between January to April, then you get an extension of time to file. September for partnerships, um, and then October for corporation and individual. So for right now, we're planning taxes for 2024. And reminder for those who did not file their taxes as of yet, who filed an extension for September and October, it's a reminder that you check in with your tax professional, or your tax professional will be either reminding you, say, hey, you have some unfinished business you need to get done, so you can be okay and be in full force planning for 2024 tax filing, which happens January to April for USA in 2025. So that being said, we are first make sure that we have all our documents together. We That's where we start from. Gather all the paperwork before we start putting them in different brackets. Just gather all of them, make sure they're one place. For those of you who are business owners, if you're a sole proprietor, uh, make sure that all your receipts, all your expenses are together, because you get deductions based on the expenses that are associated with your business. For those who have corporation, that's a more organized business venture, which you may have your bookkeeper who takes care of the paperwork for you. So whichever spectrum you are, preparation is key. And I know a lot of you may be out enjoying your day. Today is the Caribbean parade, and a lot of things are happening outdoor. But for those who are joining, this is just a reminder to say, get your stuff together, or know what you need to get together, so tax season 2025 will not catch you off guard and you lose out on some of the deductions that you need, that you can take. And so you end up paying huge tax liabilities, when, of course, if you had those deductions, if you have those receipts, if you had them, then you would either lower your tax liability or you'd get a little refund. So today we're going to look at this beautiful topic. It's beautiful because we are preparing you. It's daunting when you are frolicking, you are frustrated, you're saying, oh, what did John say I should bring? Don't wait until the ninth hour that you are frantic and you miss out on the deductions that you could have received had you made those preparations. So I hope you're enjoying your Labor Day. And for those who would be viewing after the live, this is just a reminder or just to get you up to speed on what to do tax season 2025. And we have our beautiful lady, as she popped in, Jennifer Cantanda, who is here. She's a household name. She's a woman of our family, our YouTube, our Facebook family, who comes to share her expertise with us. And let me just greet all our viewers who are on right now. Queen Dr. Benny, and she said, "Welcome, Queen Miriam, you're on point, stating that preparation is key when it comes to taxes." Welcome, Queen Evelyn Jenkins. Good to have you. And our beautiful lady, Queen Jennifer Cantando. Welcome. It's good to have you today. Thank you for joining us. Family, family, family. We are family. I'm borrowing the words of one of my favorite singers. How are you today?
I'm well. Is there a delay?
As you, sometimes our technology is not our friend or is just playing with us. So I, it could be the technology that's giving us a little.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sorry. If my lips are not matching my voice today.
Want to try log out and log back in? Let's see
Yeah,
if it's in sync. Let's
sounds
try
great.
that.
Okay, wonderful. I'll be
So
back.
she is signing out and then signing in, so I can say we are family. Okay, so tax season 2024 is not too far from here. But just let me stay in tax season 2023. We are wrapping up tax season 2023. And for those of you who have not yet completed your taxes for 2023, remember the tax deadline for filing extension is September and October. So, September, it's for partnerships and for corporations and 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 then October, it's our individual tax returns. And so get on the ball and send your documents in. Just run in and sit with your tax professional, get them filed, especially for those who may owe. Remember, extension is not time to pay, but time at timely filing, you can still file timely. So you should know that you either should have been paying or you know that you have a penalty for paying late. So Jennifer is back, and it seems as if she is on par with what's going on. So it's technology that was just playing with us. We love technology, but sometimes it goes sideways. So
Yes.
welcome back, Jen.
Thank you. It was wonderful. I got a call and from your IT guy, and he told me what I needed to do, so I wasn't lagging. And so now you have me without lagging. So we
Awesome,
figured it out, and I'm back.
awesome, awesome, awesome. It's so
Wonderful.
wonderful to have you here, and I know you cut your Labor Day enjoyment short just to be with us, family.
This
Thank
is my
you so much.
enjoyment. This is my Labor Day
Ah,
enjoyment. This is. We are family. Remember?
that's right. That's right.
That's we need that theme music going on. So absolutely. So is this when I get to ask you some questions, Miriam, because of your
Sure.
expertise?
Yes. Oh, sure. Sure. The table has turned because guess what? We're family and we can twist and turn anytime. We're actually doing the dance. You know that dance?
Yes.
Uh, I throw it at you, you throw it back at me. So we are doing
Yeah.
the dance. Okay.
Going back and forth. I love it. I love it. I was like, you know what? I have some questions for Miriam this time because she's the expertise in this area. And I had a good question for you. As a sole proprietor, as somebody that is figuring out their own, gathering all their information, like you were saying, and have all that, is there a special app that you would like that you would suggest to professionals to keep their stuff together, like me that may have stuff over here and stuff over there? How would you direct somebody that wants to be more organized with with their paperwork, with their craft, with everything going on? Do you have any good advice for people to have it in one hub, or how would you suggest it to somebody that, as professionals, we're on the go all the time, we don't remember everything. Sometimes there's lunches I forget to log in or to keep the receipt or this or that. Anything for that person that you can help with?
Well, for a sole proprietor who is just starting out, let's start with the basic. First things first, you being someone that trade time for dollars and you know you're having your own little thing. Let's start the basic thing. When you shop, just get a shoes box and just put the receipts. As soon as you get home, drop your key, just as how you put your key in a particular place. Just get that shoebox and just put the receipts. That's one of the basic ways. For some of us who are techie, there are so many different tools. There are so many different apps on your phone. You there are several different apps on your phone that you can use. Different devices have different names for them, so you can look on your phone for apps, and you can save files on your phone. As small as your phone is, it has so many different capabilities. Other things, if you're starting a business, it's good. If you can't afford to get a business account, get a separate account, because if business account, there's certain amount that you have to keep in order not to pay additional sum each month. So get a business account so you are not commingling funds, because that's how the tax man gets you. When you're commingling fund and you're saying you had this huge expense when it's actually for personal gain. So if possible, get another checking account. If you can't afford a business account right now, just get another checking account, and you can check with your financial institution that you bank with. That's for banking. So on the basic level, shoebox with your receipts. The next level, you have apps on your phone, and you can also check, the online. There are other apps that you can do. For some people, they are avid users of the Excel spreadsheet, and you can use that too, so you can document your expenses. Whatever craft you're in, they are expenses that are specific to that craft. So you can have different segments of expenses. You do your little Excel spreadsheet and you have them. Those are the basic. When your business start getting bigger now, it's good that you either incorporate, if that's feasible, which is most times better, especially for liability purposes. But for a sole proprietor, that's a basic way to start, that you have an idea that yes, I have a business. I'm not just trading time for dollars. I do have something, and I have to pay attention to that and make sure that I have things started out properly. So I am not having a challenge when it's time to do my tax return. And with AI too, one thing I can share with tax professionals, may have a challenge if that's the only thing they do, because AI, the tax, the tax programs are adding that aspect. So it's more feasible for people who have minimal taxes to do. They can actually do it like a sole proprietor that just starting out. Based on what I am learning, is that they are including AI in those aspects of taxes. So it's simpler for simple tax returns. In other words, I know you're going to ask another question. So let me just pause at that because he didn't ask that yet. So basic for sole proprietor, get the little shoebox or get those apps on your phone and just start that. And you will have a little organization going on so you are more prepared when you're ready to take your documentation to your tax person.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, that sounds good. For brand new to more seasoned. That's great. I took some notes on that too. As a professional, this really helps me too, Miriam. So I appreciate that. And that is absolutely amazing. Um, when do you think is a good time to sit with somebody, a tax professional as yourself, to see if they need to start doing their taxes quarterly or not? Case in point, if somebody's starting off a business or a sole proprietor and they are afraid that they are going to owe taxes, when should they sit down with their tax preparer to see if quarterly taxes would be a good fit for them?
So basically you're talking about paying estimate taxes
Yes.
during the year so they don't end up paying at the end of the year.
Yeah,
It
I think a lot of people are worried. Like a lot of people worried when they start a business, like their big thing is taxes, which is I think it's ironic because the whole reason that sometimes you utilize a business or a side business and you have the tax write-offs now, but some people don't understand they don't understand them, or maybe they're thinking they're going to make too much where they'll owe taxes. In that case, what would you suggest? Like, when would be a good time to sit down with somebody, and when is it a good time for them to do their taxes quarterly?
okay, so when for someone who has just started a business, say they just started the business um, this month, for most taxpayers, they may have an idea earlier in the year that they may have something in the pipeline. It's good to share that with your tax professional, and your tax professional will explain to you if you're going to start a business, there are you may get certain write-offs. However, if you are for the first time, you may not gain enough income to say have a substantial amount. But if you have a substantial amount and you have not, and your tax liability is greater than it was last year, you may end up owing. So on that basis, they may say it's good that you make estimate payments at April, I think April, July, September, and January is four times. Before I'm finished, I'll give you the exact times to make those payments. But they will explain that if you know that what you're doing is going to be lucrative and your tax you had a small tax refund, so they would gauge it based on the tax liabilities that you paid that year, or they may gauge it off the small refund that you get. So they will say, if you know that, based on the business, because for some people they have a speaking gig, and sometimes that can earn a huge sum. Just one client can, you can earn a huge sum. So they will explain and tailor it to say this can happen, that can happen. So it's good that once you get that first check, you make an estimate payment of this amount, that amount. So they will, based on your specific situation, they will give you an idea looking at what you have Before, they would say, okay, it's good you make estimate payments for this. And um, though the last quarter for estimate payment would be this month, it's best you make this amount, so it would reduce the burden of the tax liability that you may pay come tax season 2024 in 2025. So the earlier the better. I would say, do it now. So once you see that, I would advise them, okay, it's best to pay something in. So if you are the type of person who really don't want to pay any tax liability, or you don't want to have a huge tax liability come tax season, it's best to make estimate payments. And it's a good practice once you are a sole proprietor or a partnership, because you and just to let you know that your tax liability as a sole proprietor, it also goes to pay into your social security. So it's not only, oh, I have to pay this huge amount. No, part of that. Because as a sole proprietor, just so you know, you are both the employer and the employee. Because when you are a W-2 um, employer, employee, the employer pays one portion, 7.5%, and you pay the other portion. So because you're the employer and the employee, you pay both.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm taking notes myself. That's great. Thank you so much. And then a little bit about like, and I don't know if we talked about it because I came a little late on the show, but did we talk about the review changes in tax laws yet?
Okay, so they are quite a bit of changes, and that we will cover next week. Just share with you few of the changes that has come into being. And whenever you go to sit, it's good to develop a rapport with your tax professional, because you can call them up and you can discuss, I hear this on the news, will this affect me, will that affect me? So spark the conversation. uh, just so you know that tax professionals, we do have lives, but we are here to help. Sometimes you may call on them and they may not respond to you right away. Call them. It's not that you're bothering us. Sometimes a call or a text may slip through, and sometimes we go back and we say, oh my goodness, I did not know I didn't respond to this. If you did not get a response the first or the second time, or you send a text, call again. Just say, I just need help in you. Just help me out with this. I am unsure about this. Help me. uh they want to hear from you, because the more prepared we are that we can help you and you help us. So when we help you to gather your documents, when we help you with the new things that you're hearing and you're more comfortable, when tax season comes, we have a better rapport. You have everything and you say, okay, I heard about this, so I have this.
I like that. That is so, for being on somebody that, might not want to reach out or just figures, hey, everything's okay, or I don't want to bother my tax professional. You really put it in perspective like, hey, you need to reach out. You need to, hey, I just need help with this or that or whatever your concern may be. It's definitely, important. It's important for you, and you have to look out for yourself when it comes to that. Yes, you have your professional, but you have to look for things for yourself, and make sure that things are in place.
Yes,
I like that. An advocate for yourself.
definitely. uh every year, sometimes things comes in the mail that for tax purposes, do not throw them away. Sometimes the um, taxpayers, they will come, my clients will come, and I saw this case in point when during COVID, when they had the credits and those things, some people just throw them away. And
Oh,
then, yes, so it's during tax season, and you say, you should receive this. Oh, I saw that thing, but I never know about it, and so I throw it away. So, any if take up your mail, look at it for tax purposes. Don't throw it away. You may not understand, open it and call your tax professional. Remember, if we do not answer or if we don't see the text within 2 or 3 days, just check back with us, because you want to be prepared. We want you to be prepared. We want you to bother us so we can get you prepared.
yes, I agree. In fact, when I see for tax purposes and it comes in the mail, I'm like, oh, I definitely need to open this, you know? So it's something I like that you said that because so many people get in the habit of throwing away mail. They might be throwing away an important document that they need to use or your tax professional needs to help when filing taxes. And that is so important, Miriam, because I haven't thrown away things, but I caught myself because sometimes it does look like just what would you say, like
Junk
a
mail.
flyer or junk mail. Yes, a flyer or junk mail, and people get in such a habit of just tossing things that you really have to go through it, you know. And I've opened up things before and I had checks, and so now I make sure, hey, I have checks come in the mail sometimes, so I make sure that I open everything. If it's a flyer, I still look at it and then toss it. But if it says for, tax purposes, you better believe that that is going to the side too for my taxes. I have a file that I go in there. And sometimes when I don't even have time to look at it and go thoroughly through it, it goes in my file too, because at least I know where it's at, you know. I might not have time to look it over right now, but I know where it's going to be when I go to look over it or go back to it. So that is awesome. So great. Okay, so we're going to move on to the to maximize deduction and credits. And I do want to make sure that we know about maximizing deductions and credits. I think everybody's ears might be really open to this, right? I too want to make sure that I maximize deductions and credits. I too have to, because I am a financial professional, it is important that I pay attention as well, Miriam, and I take notes too, because this is what I usually will help assisting mine, and I let them know I'm not a tax preparer, but I do have some insight and good information to give them. So with that, I will definitely let you take that away.
Right. So to maximize deductions and credits, make sure you identify all eligible deductions and credits. And that is the reason your tax professional is key. Sometimes you'll read information, and what helped before I started doing taxes, I started going on IRS website, and sometimes it's good to just read, although some of those pronouncements, the publications, the jargons are not familiar. That's why sometimes, when you read little things, you said, Miriam, or whoever is your tax professional, I read this. What does that mean? I must tell you, I have friends, and I hear them talk. They said, I don't know why they're reading up this thing as if they know. So I used to say to them, it's good when you're being asked. It's also help you to improve on your craft, and it also let you know that your clients, they are getting knowledgeable, or they want to know, because it's good to know why you get a refund, and it's good to know why you're paying back taxes, because when you know these things, you are not just, oh, um Karen and I work same place, and she gets a huge refund and I have to pay back, so you're not a good tax person. But when you know why, Karen is not going to tell you why she get a refund. She's not going to tell you that, because I know in the past, there are quite a number of tax professionals who does unscrupulous things. They add people on the returns so you can get a huge refund, and then years after Uncle Sam come to bite you and they want back the refund you get because you were not eligible for that refund because you did not have that dependent. So it's so important that you understand what's happening when the your tax professionals say, okay, you're getting a refund of this. What I normally do is to somewhat go on a macro level, just share with my clients, okay, these are your deductions. This is the reason you get a refund because your tax withholding was greater than your tax liability. And then they say, I don't understand that. Then I say, okay, you paid for a W-2 employee. You what they took from your income, your withholding is what they took from your income. And so because this is what they took, and based on the tax chart, um, this is what you should have paid as taxes. So if you're withholding what they took from your income is greater than what you should have paid based on the tax calculation, you get a refund. He said, oh, so tax preparation or tax planning is to help us. And for US and Canada, it's almost the same. But for the Caribbean, UK, I'm not sure. I think UK, they have a system that you, based on certain calculation, you may get a refund. I'm not sure. But for the Caribbean per se, the business owners mainly, they file taxes. But for W-2 employees, they don't really file taxes. Only sole proprietors and corporations do file taxes in the Caribbean. So their system is a little bit different than the US and Canada. But just to give you an idea of tax returns, and for because this world has gotten so globalized, there is you have people throughout other countries who have businesses, who have US businesses. Some of them work with Amazon, some of them work with TikTok, some of them. So they are getting a 1099 from the US. Now, if you're in the Caribbean or other places, and as a business owner, remember, once you're getting these monies, you are a business owner. You're getting a 1099 from the US. If you're in Jamaica or in the Caribbean, you get a 1099 from the US. You need to pay your taxes. Make sure you pay your taxes. So, tax planning is very important. Yes, going back to maximizing the deductions. So, identifying all eligible deductions and credits. This includes business expenses, retirement contributions, and other credits that can reduce taxable income. Make sure you speak to your tax professional that can help you uncover the less obvious opportunities for you to lower your tax liabilities.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That was so good. So, hey, everybody takes tax, has to pay for their taxes. And
Mm-hmm.
the site, Miriam, is at irs.gov.
irs.gov if you want to learn a little bit more, just to give you a little knowledge, and then you can expand on that when you speak to your tax professional. Mark you, although we are tax professional, and as a CPA, or for myself as an enroll agent, we are learned, but because changes are made over time, their changes are made throughout the year, we may not have the answer at the time you may ask us. We will tell you, we will check it out and let you know, because
Yes.
you have publications from A to Z to 1 to 100, whatever. So we are learned, but we may not have the answer at the time you ask. We do the research because we have an idea where to look for what. You may be looking through the entire publication. When we know if it's credits, if it's child tax credit, we can look at a particular publication and give you the answer. Or if it's a new law that has been established, we can say, okay, this is what applies to you and this is what doesn't apply to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Miriam. That is so insightful. Making sure that we and I also, when I sit down with somebody, sometimes I'm involved with their CPA or their tax preparer because we're also making sure whatever that I set them up for is beneficial. Not a lot of financial professionals will work with your tax preparer or your CPA just to double check and making sure what you're going with is the best option for you, because sometimes from going from one account retirement account to another, maybe you are wanting to pay taxes now so you don't pay them later. I definitely work along with the CPA when discussing that, because there are taxes that need to be paid up front in that transition. And so you have taxes everywhere. Like every decision that you make, you really have to, whether it's income, whether it's investment tax, and these are all things that you really have to sit down with your professional, whether it be CPA and your financial professional. If you can get them together when you're making big decisions, that is amazing, because that is something that is really for the importance of yourself. That's why me and Miriam, we love working together so well, because we want to make sure anybody that we work for, it makes sense, right? It
Definitely,
makes sense.
definitely.
And I know Miriam has already been working with her clientele and educating them, and on both the taxes and investments. So they get the best of both worlds when talking to Miriam. So that's amazing, because I can't help on taxes that much. When it comes to what you do, I can also help on the retirement side as far as what taxes look like when they go to retire. But you are a professional in everything else when it comes to that. So let's talk about this is perfect segue into we are going to be talking about plan for retirement and contributions. So it says take advantage of retirement plans like your 401k or individual retirement accounts or your IRAs. Contributions to such plans can provide tax benefits and are crucial for long-term financial planning.
Hmm.
So can we discuss that?
Yes. So taking advantage of what your employer has in terms of 401k, 403b for government workers and other retirement, it's good. Also, as we're talking on looking at balancing the tax strategy, it's good not to put everything as tax deferred because it may hurt you in the long run. So if you can sort of balance things, uh, knowing that taxes will increase in years to come, it's good to sit with your tax professional and your financial advisor. So both goes hand in hand. What is the best strategy for you? Because everyone is individually different. Everyone has unique situations. So it's good to sit with your tax professional because based on your family dynamics, based on everything that's happening, everyone has a different situation. So sit with your tax professional, find out should I open a Roth IRA where I pay after tax dollars. So with Roth IRA after tax dollars, you don't pay taxes on the earnings because you already paid the taxes up front. So rally with your investment advisor, your tax professional, and they will advise you based on your individual situation.
Wonderful. I like that. That is definitely something that needs to be um, specialized, right? Because of the fact that you have to sit down and your unique situation isn't my strategy and Miriam's strategy are not the same, right? Because I have different goals or I have different, I might have different investments. It's not going to be the same. I might want to push my taxes to the end. Miriam wants to retire with tax free, or I might want to utilize a different strategy. But so that is really important. And I like what she says about, paying taxes now or paying taxes later. That is very important to know that, right now we are at an all-time low when it comes to paying taxes, and but we've seen taxes go up to 90%, right?
Years
So
ago,
yes,
yes, yes.
years ago, that's hard to believe, but I believe that now we don't see 90%. Now we see inflation. I don't want to, I don't know enough to go say, well, they didn't do it this way, but they're going to do it that way, right? So I saw them with inflation coming, and I go, oh, you didn't want us to get taxes because you would have saw an uproar. So I saw the inflation coming. But
That's
here's the
true.
thing: is like
One
these.
more thing before you jump off that topic. Staying right back into maximize deductions and credits for those of you who are giving charitable donation. If you've made a plan to give a charitable donation of say 5,000 or 10,000, uh, and that is within an 18-month period. If you find that if you give that lump sum within 1 year, you can actually get a deduction that you can actually itemize, and that will actually either reduce your tax liability, which would either give you a refund or making you have a lower tax bill to pay. Check with your tax professional. So instead of paying per month, say for instance, you have a charitable donation to any charity, whether it's your church organization or uh, to the Cancer Society, who wherever you do charitable, you made a pledge to any one of those charities that I'll be giving 10,000 for within an 18-month period. If it would be more beneficial, or check if it would be beneficial for you to give that lump sum for 1 year, and then it will increase your itemized deduction, so it lowers your tax liability. That's also one way to maximize your deductions and credits.
Wonderful.
I see you're taking copious notes.
I am because, I mean, I tithe, right? So that would be considered it, right? A woman of faith tithing to her church.
So tithing
Is that a different thing?
is different, because you
Okay.
have tithing that you pay 1/10 for most church organization is 1/10 of your income. But you also have organizations, not necessarily church organizations, that has either building fund, or you have the hospitals, you have other
Okay.
foundations, recognize charities that
Okay.
you always give to. So instead of, say for instance, you're someone who gives like a 350 each month to Cancer Society for cancer research, you should
Yes.
find out from your tax professional, uh, would this help me to itemize? Would this increase my itemized deductions, so I am at a lower tax liability, or I may get a higher refund if I do all of that within 1 year? So
And
that
that's
helps.
awesome. And you're helping people, you're helping your charity at the same time. And I always love to see when the charity events have tables or functions where you can go have dinner, or you can, enjoy yourself, or even they have auctions sometimes where they get to auction. These functions are charitable. It goes towards charity, but you also have a good time doing it.
Yes.
And I've seen those. I've seen those, different charities where I get them in the mail because I have done that in the past. That's why. And it doesn't need to be one organization, correct? It could be multiple
It could be
organizations
multiple
as
organization.
long as it's 5,000.
Yes, but I know for some people they normally pay per month or per week to
Hmm.
that organization, but if they do that, they're itemized, depends on their situation. If it's married filing jointly, um, how much would it be? How much do I pay in my charitable donation? So it increases my itemize, and so I get either a higher refund or my tax liability is lowered. So that's the reason. See if you can do a lump sum for that year, and
Hmm.
then it would be beneficial than if you spread that over the 18 months. So you would not actually benefit if you spread that over the long period. Um,
Gotcha.
I think I see Dr. Benny was asking a question. She said, I believe that we should pay our taxes every paycheck. I noticed that some people do not want to pay their taxes until their last day. Uh, that again, Queen Dr. Benny, it's good to pay taxes, but again, for some people, depending on their situation, they may some people don't know because they're human resource, they're not tax professionals. So for people who are just starting a job, they may fill out a W-4, which is the withholding for the IRS, and whatever the name of the state one, if you pay state taxes. uh, they may fill out, if they're single, they put zero, or they may put one or two. They may not know that when you put one and two, you're actually telling them to withhold less from my pay. And so that one or two at the end of the year, you when you do your taxes, it's just you alone. If you're single and you put on your W-4, um, you put exemptions. Then at the end of the year, you end up seeing that when your taxes is being filed, you end up seeing that you owe tax liability. Make sure you, if you're changing jobs, or if you see that you end up owing and this is not explained to you, just sit with your tax professional and find out how you can either level that, or what do you need to do in order for them to withhold more. The W-4 has changed somewhat, so it's it's best to sit with your tax professional so that they can explain that to you, so you can end up um, being in a better position. Uh, so it's best to pay a little taxes. However, there are some people who rather to take their money up front and then pay at the end of the year, because some people believe that time value of money is a greater advantage of using their money up front, and then I pay Uncle Sam at the end of the year. However, it is advisable, I'm going back to sole proprietors, partnerships. It is advisable to make estimate payments once you realize that you may have a huge tax liability. And your tax professional can give you a breakdown as to what your estimate payment should be based on your tax liability for the previous year or for the current year.
And she also said, is it okay to wait? And I don't know if you addressed this, but she says, is it okay to wait until the end of the year before we pay our taxes? And then she also commented, I do not like the new W-4.
Yeah, for true, the new W-4 is a little tricky, but if you sit with your tax professional, they will help you. Now, just I give you a little. It's 5 minutes. The W-4, I can help you one on one, or your tax professional can help you one on one, just to help you with it, to just break it down. Because if you're someone who do not want to pay taxes at the end of the year, if you're a W-2 employee and you do not want to pay taxes at the end of the year, it's best to get to your tax professional, let them help you. So you fill that out, and there's a line that says withhold an additional dash. So they will help you based on what your situation is, based on what they see when they did your taxes. They can say, okay, um, based on your income, they may say, okay, for every paycheck, let them take out uh, $20 or $50 or $200, depending on your income level. And that will alleviate the problem of you having to pay at the end of the year when you file your taxes. For those who have businesses, it's different. If your business is making a profit, it's best, especially for partnerships, it's best to make estimate payments so you can have um, a lower tax liability at the end of the year. This was very
Wonderful.
interesting.
This is great. This is great. And I know we're going to be wrapping it up. So I don't we can do the second set of questions I have for you at a later time since we're already the hours coming up. But I do want to ask this. So Marion, if some people are watching this and they want more information, or they don't have a tax preparer, is that something that they can reach out to you and you can help them with their taxes? And if so, and I don't know if you're accepting clients right now, and if so, how would they get a hold of you?
Yes, they can get in touch with me, and I would I would do a little interview, because based on based on a lot of things, I would know whether or not I want to intake or stuff like that. So
Okay,
a little interview, a little consultation, and then I'll be able to assist them. I'll be
awesome.
happy to do that.
And how do they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me. They can either email me at joinmethecoach@gmail.com, and then we can take it from there.
Perfect, perfect. Just want to make sure because you have so much great information that sometimes people just say, "Okay, my situation, can you help me?" Right? And on the other hand, if
Definitely.
you do want to reduce taxes in the future, or if you want to look at what kind of investments you can do, then you can also reach out to Miriam or myself, and you can do that either way. You can reach out to me. I'm trying to think. I'm on the West Coast, so some of your viewers on the East Coast, but I can put up my um, Miriam. I don't know how to put up my
You
you
can
know.
just say your number, and then we can
Okay.
put it
So
there for you.
you can go to Jennifer Kentondo. That's Jennifer. Last name is Kentondo. It's right under me. It's Cantando. And then that's dot WFG@gmail.com. And I can help with any questions you have about the investment side when it comes to retirement strategies and planning tax free, or what taxes you're going to need to be prepared to pay in the future with your current retirement funds. So I can help on,
That's Jennifer, Jennifer,
and that is
I'm going to tell.
complimentary. Just for Miriam's guest. No, I actually, it's complimentary to everybody, but
Again, it's Jennifer
especially your
Cantando.
guests are special.
Yes.
And I've
So
said
yes,
many of you guys,
complimentary from Jennifer Cantando.
yes,
So it's
yes.
Jennifer Cantando
And I love
dot.
your audience because of
I'm
the fact that
sorry,
you have,
it's
go
Jennifer
ahead.
Cantando
Oh,
dot
WFG
f
at gmail.com.
at gmail.com. Jennifer Cantando
Dot
dot
WFG
wfg
at gmail.com.
gmail.com. So it's her name right up there.
Yes.
Dot
Dot
wfg
at
at gmail.com.
gmail.com.
You can't miss that.
No, you can't.
So, and it's complimentary. You can ask questions. We can connect with you one on one at that time, and just give you a complimentary consultation, help you on that basis. And you go right back to your tax professional or if we are a good fit, we can dance together.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Always excited. Your guest, I mean your audience is always so welcoming, has great comments. Thank you, Benny. Dr. Benny, blessing for, just gracing us with so much
Yes,
of your content. And
Dr. Nadu and all of you guests. The chat was going so fast, didn't get a chance to
yes,
see all, but all of you guests, if I didn't
Lawson,
call your name,
Nadu.
thank
Yes,
you for
absolutely.
joining, and feel free to reach
Evelyn,
out to us. We want to make sure that you are all equipped for tax season that's coming up, and also for those who have not yet filed their taxes for 2023. Get together with your tax professional, get all
yes.
the papers done, and so you can finish up for 2023.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Always a pleasure. And thank you for that. We got to turn the tables and I got to interview you today, Miriam. Always so great. And we appreciate you so much. And you are so great to, be on here every Monday and, host your show. And we are just absolutely blessed that you care so much about everyone that you can give them some great insight. I see your love for taxes. I know your love for humanity. And together, I know you're such a great fit for so many people. So take advantage of getting that interview with Miriam and seeing if you are a good fit with her, that she can really help you. So we will leave it at that. And she brought both of our emails. So please reach out to us with any questions. Yes, thank you. I'm like, how do they get a hold of us? I forget.
And remember, we are family. We want to make sure that you're all prepared. And so we'll feel even better when you take that information. They say knowledge is power, but no, to that, applied knowledge is power. So until next week, which we'll thank you for joining. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be in the know for this information when it's available. Once again, thank you for joining, and we look forward to seeing you on another episode of Mindset Monday.
Okay. And happy Labor Day, everyone.